Every mainline Pokemon game has a certain set of Pokemon that are exclusive to each version. For example, in Heart Gold you can find Growlithe but not Vulpix, and in Soul Silver the opposite is true. So this led me to make a video a while back in Pokemon Sword using only the exclusive Pokemon we could find in those games. With Scarlet and Violet, this is still true with some Pokemon, the most recognizable being the Paradox exclusives. So why not try to beat Pokemon Scarlet with only version exclusives? Should be a fun challenge. As always, this will be a hardcore Nuzlocke, and if you can guess the nickname theme, then I'll name a shiny after you if I ever decide to do a shiny run again. Wait, go watch my latest shiny video. But yeah, let's get into it. Hey, it's a wild Clavell. Technically, he's a version exclusive since he wears red in Scarlet and blue in Violet, or Scarlet and Violet and Violet. Too bad I can't catch him. He'd easily help us take down the Paldea League. Sorry, sir. She got hit on the head as a child. No, I didn't, Mom. I figured I'd pick Sprigatito since it'll make Nemona have Quaxly, which will be part fighting type, and that is super effective against some of our dark types. Although, a lot of our dark types are dark types pretty late, and one of them makes fighting neutral, so it doesn't really matter who we choose. Alright kitty, let's go put you in a virtual box for the rest of your days. Now there's no version exclusives on Poco Path, so we can just hurry on out of here. You know, now that I think of it, Koraidon is a version exclusive. We can't use him, but at least he'll travel with us throughout our hunt for victory. Now I don't actually think I can come across a version exclusive before the Nemona fight at the gate since the day and night cycle won't change and Drifloon is only available at night, so I did the little glitch to venture off into the world and I was going to go get a stun key, but I ended up finding a Charcadet at level 13. So I caught it in an Ultra Ball and named her Wraith. She is going to have that Flash Fire ability, which should be pretty useful for Mela. For now though, Wraith has to take on Nemona's water type, Quaxly. I did have Nightshade for some consistent damage as Ember is resisted and Clear Smog does a little less. It's also great that Nemona's AI here doesn't just go for water guns, so this was a clean 3-hit KO with no repercussions. Her Palmy did get us into Oranberry range, but after an Ember did half to her. As long as she doesn't crit, we should be good here, and we were. I was definitely tempted to go to Zapikoko to get the item to evolve Wraith, but I felt like that's a bit overkill right now, so thankfully we came out of this alive. With this, we can take on Katie right away since I don't think I can get a Drifloon before the cap unless it's in the same place I caught the Charcadet. I tried looking and I found nothing. This went pretty smoothly with some speedy Vs on Wraith as she's painfully slower than Katie's Nimble and Teddiursa. But thanks to Fire Terra typing and the fact that the little bear scratched us only 2 times, we managed to snag a victory on that one. From here, I went to South Province 5 to catch ourselves a Larvitar and she was right at level 16, a level lower than the cap. She should be useful against Cloth. Now I had no idea this thing has Rock Slide, but thankfully Wraith was able to use her Q to completely dodge that, and after 2 Pokeballs, we caught her. I named her Loba, and she had Rock Terra type. Now you might be thinking I'm crazy for bringing Loba to this Cloth fight, but I'm not too crazy. Yes, it does have Rock Smash, but Larvitar has access to the TM for Bulldoze, which will 100% lower its speed every time it hits. With this we can Bulldoze, lowering his speed turn 1 as he just used a useless block. I've already done this one time before and I actually burned Loba for more damage, but that's actually a mistake as his Anger Shell will pop, boosting his attack and speed, knocking us out the next turn. But that didn't happen this attempt, so one more Bulldoze beats round 1. As for round 2, I used Scary Face first as he targeted Shelter, and then we just hammered away with Bulldoze. He was just using Vice Grip, so nothing too much to worry about there. Why do you look so pissed, Loba? Lighten up a bit, we won. Now I know I said Armarouge would be overkill for this point in the game, but man, who cares? Brassius deserves this. Oh, Game Freak, you shouldn't have given me this much power this early on. See, this is why you deserve this, Brassius. Trailblaze? Seriously? Bombirdier is right after this, and Loba here is our girl. I opted for Rock Tomb just for some more accuracy, and I knew it would lower its speed so that the next turn we do hit, we'd outspeed. So we take that Pluck and protect the next turn. With that, the first battle is done. At the start of the next fight, I protect for some Lefty's health, and then we Terrasilize for a Rock Tomb that almost KOs this bird. With that, Arven's Knackli finishes up this fight easily. What a duo these two are. Now in order to grab the version exclusive Tauros, we have to craft a pickle sandwich. And you would think this sandwich comes with something other than pickles, but no. It's just olive oil and pickles. And let's top it off with no bun. Yep, there it is. That's a real beauty. Now I couldn't find any Tauros for a while, like for an hour. Until eventually I looked in a different spot in East Province too, and it was over here, over the level cap, which really sucks, so we can't use it for Geocomo. So I didn't even bother catching it yet, and instead I went to go get a Stonjourner in Asado Desert, which was right at the cap just in case for Geocomo. This was a mistake, and I'll explain why later. I named him Gibraltar. Now I didn't realize it at first, but apparently Wraith gets access to the TM Aura Sphere, and this can actually just be got right away by going to South Province 4 or jumping from Alfornada. So this should be useful for Giacomo. Let's give it a shot. Now obviously Pawnyard won't stand its ground at all due to it being quad effective, but let's see how the Starmobile fares. Yeah, thanks to us terrestrializing, removing our psychic typing, this was a 3-hit KO without worrying if we were gonna die. Gotta love good old Wraith. I did the best I could. I mean, did you though? Now I thought Iono would be difficult since Larvitar is super weak with no setup, however Wraith here can do something without setup. See, I kinda forgot that she could relearn a move she's never learned before, and this would be Mystical Fire. With this move plus the Metronome item, which boosts moves used consecutively, and Terrestrialization, we should be able to KO Miss Mages out in one shot. This move also lowers special attack by 1 stage on the opponent, so Belly Bolt's Water Gun didn't do much, and it's also good that we don't crit Belly Bolt, as it gives us one more boost of Metronome. Now there is one issue, and that's Miss Mages' Confuse Ray, since she does happen to outspeed us. However, Wraith here uses her Q once again to dodge that hit on herself, meaning ladies and gentlemen, we've won. Looks like Iono is the one confused this time. Since we've beaten the Electric Queen, the cap opens up once more and we have access to a lot of version exclusives like that Tauros I mentioned earlier. So we craft our beautiful pickle sandwich that anyone would crave at any time of the day for a fire type boost, and here he is. I named him Revenant, and this is probably the worst Tauros we could have gotten. Terrible nature, the ability we didn't want since the other one is Intimidate, and it has Fire Terra typing, which Armor Rogue already has. Bummer, but at least we have a fighting type. From here, Caustic was caught and he has Dark Terra typing. We also came across an Oranguru, which I named Lifeline and Tag Tree Tricket. God, I just love the standing up animation. She had normal Terra, which honestly I definitely preferred Psychic, but it is what it is. You'd think with all these brand new encounters, I'd use them for our next fight. Yeah, no. See, Wraith has the ability Flash Fire like I mentioned before, and it's perfect for Mela since she has fire type moves. On top of that, Torkoal sets up Sun on entry, so that plus Terrestrialization means Mela.
Congratulations, you played yourself.
I mean seriously, Torkoal was a 2-hit KO. As for her Starmobile, it resorts to use Screech, but it doesn't matter since the only move Mela can use right now is Swift, which is a special attacking move, and Mystical Fire lowers her special attack on top of that. Oh, and I forgot to mention, Flash Fire also boosts our fire type moves by 50%, and she uses Blazing Torque now, so this is a 3-hit KO. Congrats, Mela. Okay, Armor Rouge is way too powerful for this fight. Wow. I don't think I've ever seen this worm go down in one shot. You need to calm down, you sweaty Wraith. Perfect example of inflation, guys. This right here costs $35,000. Yes, I know it's not 35 grand. Please don't be somebody that comments that. I've always loved how the holes in Pupitar's face look like eyebrows. Moving on to something a little more challenging, Kofu is our next gym fight. So let's humiliate him in front of the whole town. Alright, Kofu starts off with Veluza, who has all these high critical hit ratio moves. To nullify Kofu's crit damage, I led Wraith to Will-O-Wisp this fish turn 1. I had a wide lens on her to hopefully not miss. Once that's over, we can send out the star of the show, Lifeline. We come in on an Aqua Cutter that doesn't crit and I have the lefties on her. With this we can protect on the off turns for more health. Now we just need a Nasty Plot 2 times and Trailblaze to outspeed Wugtrio. We managed to get all those buffs without a hitch except for this little crit. Now we use a move called Stored Power, and I love using this strat with Oranguru. Basically, this move not only gets boosted by our special attack buff, but it gets boosted by every time we get a buff. And it'll stack with our already existing special attack boosts. This means it'll even use our speed boost we got to calculate the power. With this, all 3 of Kofu's Pokemon stand no chance against our Lifeline. Yeah, go ahead and laugh for the crowd, like you let me win or something, old man. We both know you got creamed. Now before we could take on Atticus, I went to Dali's up a passage to find Drifloon. I caught it in a Great Ball, and this thing actually had self-destruct. What the? But yeah, it had Flying Terra type and Unburden, which is a plus. I evolved her immediately. What's with that face, bro? Lighten up. Anyways, Atticus was our next focus, and I led Lifeline once again as she could easily bait Sucker Punch had I not terrestrialized. But oddly enough, he still used it, so we were fine. Basically, I taunted to avoid Toxic and set up Nasty Plots. Once we were all set up and he was out of Sucker Punches, we one-shot all 3 of his main Pokemon with Stored Power. The Starmobile did outspeed getting a big crit, so I should have Trailblazed on Skuntank, but it is what it is. Regardless, a Stored Power did whopping amounts of damage to the Rest Bucket, knocking it out in 1 hit. Good job, girl. You're just amazing. I feel like Penny is just looking at us from afar on like some tree with some binoculars as we carry out her mission. Like she's just chilling on a branch with her 6 evolutions. Can I get some fan art of that? I can't wait to show Clive my new Skuntank. It's gonna be like looking in a mirror for the guy. Now I wish I could say that Big Boss Larry was difficult, but we finally get to use our precious bull. And man, is he packing some heat back there too. Hey, what's all that movement back there, Tauros? Anyways, we bulked up twice as he obviously yawned, and we have a Chesto Berry for that. His slam didn't do crap, so Rev here was able to set up freely and sweep with double kick. I did forget about Staraptor having Intimidate, but it didn't bite us in the butt as his Aerial Ace didn't do much. I did, however, mess up on the Nemona fight right after since I thought Revenant could sweep, but Quaquaval was an issue as it lived even at +4, and this thing was doing some damage. I should have Will-O-Wisped on Rev instead to burn this thing, but I didn't do that. So midway through setting up, I went into Wraith on a critical hit a Cell Rock. God damn it. Well, if that was a crit, I believe we can live one more, and there we go, you sweaty Wraith living on 1 HP. With that, we burn this thing and switch into Valk on an Accel Rock. Now we Strength Sap, lowering her attack, and then minimize, but unfortunately, she did hit all of her attacks, and eventually got a crit before I could even baton pass anything. With this doggo having priority, I have to hard switch now. So I go into Lifeline who can Terrasilize into a normal type who can avoid super effective damage from Bite. Thanks to Lifeline's speed EVs, it outsped everything on Nemona's team, and at +6, no one lives a stored power. Ha! Take that, Nemona. You almost had me. I'll give it to you. Now as for Rhyme, there's not much to see here. We didn't even need to Terrasilize to defeat her. I wish I could tell you it got harder from here, but it just didn't. Drifblim Terrasilize gets rid of our weakness to Knock Off, so it doesn't even do half, and an Air Slash does heaping amounts of damage. On the off chance I missed an Air Slash since he knocked off our Wide Lens, I did Strength Sap to regain all of our health, and he ended up stomping Scovalane, so we came out of this alive. Arven, how could you be mad at this guy? He's adorable. I mean, just think of him as your Mabostiff. They're both super cute, man. Speaking of cute, this little guy is super cute. It's my favorite out of the 2 Paradox forms, and we can actually catch it right after this fight, which is amazing. I named him Newcastle, but yeah, I think some of you know what's going on. I made a major fuck up. If you remember earlier, I said I caught a Stunjourner in Asado Desert. You know, this pile of shit. Yeah, so I can't actually use Newcastle at all. I mean, it's basically legendary, and we'd have to get rid of Tauros for it anyways, so I guess it was meant to be. Sorry, buddy. I'm gonna go cry myself to sleep now. Nemona, I'm really not in the mood for you right now. Alright, whatever. First things first, I led Revenant to Will-O-Wisp's Lycanroc. Once that's done, Valkyrie was our girl who came in on a brutal rock slide, but the good news is, we have Strength Sap, and this move will not only heal us, but it will lower her attack in the process, just like before. So we do this twice and then minimize. She did hit another one, but after another Strength Sap, she missed her Rock Slide. Now we just Calm Mind 3 times, as well as get our evasiveness up to +6. With this, we Baton Pass into Lifeline for free. I actually only needed to Calm Mind 1 time, as evasiveness and the fact that Calm Mind gives us 2 stat boosts all come together for our stored power strat. Another thing is I forgot to put Trailblaze on Lifeline in case something hits a move, but luckily nothing ended up hitting. Our Lifeline dodged everything in sight despite being outsped. Alright, I want you guys to guess who's going to defeat Tulip. Alright, do you have your answer? If you guys guessed Skuntank, you couldn't be more wrong. No, it's gonna be Revenant. See, by Terrestrializing into a fire type, we can get rid of that psychic type weakness, and we can Will-O-Wisp with a Wide Lens to hit it. From here, all that needs to be done is bulk up and everything should die. And even if Tulip used Reflect, the move Raging Bull would break it. This version exclusive team is way too broken. I wonder if the Violet exclusives are like this. Honestly, the same thing went for Grusha. The only difference is we used Wraith instead with Calm Mind. Beartic is scary with Aqua Jet, but since it doesn't see a kill with it, I didn't think it would actually use it, and it didn't. Not even a thick fat Satitan can withstand a flamethrower. Go back to your igloo, Grusha. The Fairy type Starbase is up next, and while I do have Caustic, there is another poison type I have in mind. This little scrub right here. I named her Horizon, and she actually had Poison Terra type, as well as having a really good nature. Gosh, I love Dragaldi's design. Who's with me on this? With this new team member, I take on Ortega, the shortest one out of all the bosses. Yes, I'm really making fun of your hype, bro. Wait, is he shorter than Penny? So I start with Revenant who can Will-O-Wisp Azumarill. We do in fact hit it, and from here we can hard switch into Valkyrie with lefties. Brutal Aqua Tail, but we'll be fine. Ortega did crit play rough us though, the following turn, and I nearly had Heart Attack. That crit did in fact matter though, as I couldn't fully do what I wanted to with Trick Room. Regardless, I did risk a crit for another Calm Mind up, which honestly I shouldn't have done, but whatever. Once we're into Horizon on a play rough, we proceed to sludge bomb everything on his team, with Wigglytuff outspeeding for a body slam and Daxbun getting a mean crunch off. It was all going well, but we were taking heaping amounts of damage thanks to us not outspeeding, so the question was, were we going to make it out alive against the big oiled machine? Usually it does use Confuse Ray, but I put a Cherry Berry for paralysis instead of a Lum Berry, and if it did attack, could we live? Find out next time. Nah, I'm just kidding. Horizon lived on 7 HP, due to it using Spin Out, and it looks like that Calm Mind actually paid off since this OHKO's from full, whereas at +1 it wouldn't have. Alright, I played that one a little riskier, but I needed to, just to show Horizon some love. And to be honest, everything up until this point had kind of been by the book, aka taking it super seriously, so I needed some excitement for the video. Ladies and gents, it was a long wait, but finally Loba evolved into honestly probably my favorite pseudo-legendary. I wish they didn't go with a dragon type nearly every time for these, but what can you do? Like, this design is just so simple but so cool. Just casually walking on top of the Titan Dondozo, don't mind me buddy. These two weren't too difficult, with Dondozo going down fairly easily to some Thunderbolts. Tatsugiri was kind of scary with its Dragon Pulse doing a lot of damage, and when it saw a kill on Dragalge, I switched into Loba on a Muddy Water, which did a lot even with the special defense boost from Sandstorm. He also lowered our accuracy, but luckily we did hit our moves and outsped with our EVs, so no deaths here guys. Now could it get any easier? Yes it could. Drifblim with Flying Terra type is perfect for Airy, so if you ever have one, use it. See, because it's part Ghost type, the AI uses Sucker Punch, meaning we get 5 Calm Minds up for absolutely free. It's the freest thing of Valk's career. I did bring a Pecha Berry in case it used Poison Jab, but once we were set up, we just Terrassalize into a pure Flying type to boost our Terra Blast, and everything dies to it. And on top of that, we just outspeed the Storm Wheel thanks to Speed EVs, and 1 Terra Blast is enough to KO it from full. Jesus, Valk, you just need to be banned. Airy didn't even get a chance to shift gear once. Haha, it's the loser committee. Man, we need to get you to a chiropractor. That's probably how I look making videos all day. Anyways, it's time for the true test to see if our version exclusives can do the most and become champion. Rika is up first, and I led Valkyrie to substitute and baton pass. First I Amnesia as we take a Blizzard, which didn't do much, and then we sub, but apparently this isn't enough to keep the sub up. So I Strength Sap the next turn for a health back, and he misses a big Blizzard. With this we Amnesia one more time, taking a Blizzard, and then sub as he misses one. Now we can baton pass into Loba, whose Sandstream will give us a special defense boost, so that Muddy Water isn't going to fade the sub away. Now we set up Rock since Donphan does have Sturdy, and she gets a crit Earth Power, breaking the sub. Might have mattered to break the sub, but regardless, all this was extra precaution. Anyways, from here we get 3 Dragon Dances safely, and the Sandstorm runs out. Now I go ahead and sweep, but there is a chance that even with Rocks up, Donphan will live in EQ, since I have no idea how much Rocks will do, and we do live a crit here. The only scary thing would be an accuracy drop from Muddy Water, but thankfully Rika missed, so at +4, everything should die. And everything does in fact get Loba's fat. Puppy is up next, and I usually have to burn Copper Jaw for a sweep, but no, not this time. Revenant can actually sweep without setting up. I guess Fire Terra typing was more useful. Everything gets obliterated by Raging Bull. Of course, Magnezone does have Sturdy. Had to put a Lum Berry in case we got status by Discharge or Tri Attack, but she just went for a Light Scream, just like my last run. I know you're a child, Poppy, but so are we. The easiness also continues with Businessman Larry. All that needs to happen here is set up once with Dragon Dance, and it's not because we need the attack boost. It's just that Staraptor has Intimidate. Everything will die to a Rock Slide with no boosts. Loba is holding a Wide Lens as well, so that we hopefully don't miss a Rock Slide. But yeah, T-Tar is just way too powerful for these games. Now can you guys guess who's going to defeat Hassel? It's Loba. I mean, like, seriously, see, Noivern has special attacking moves, so with Sandstorm up, we easily tank those. Now obviously Super Fang is still an issue, which he did go for, but we have Lefties and Protect, and we only need to Dragon Dance 2 times. With everything set up, a Dragon Claw will destroy Noivern and Dragalge. Now Dragalge's Poison Point did activate, but it's just normal poison, so Lefty should allow us to live all the way, and not a soul on his team has any priority moves. Wait, what happened to Poison? What? Okay, that's pretty weird, but anyways, for Baxcalibur, we needed to be +2 to KO. Did Loba just use her old ability Shed Skin or something? Now the good news is in these games, we can just access our box, which normally I wouldn't be allowed to, but I like giving everybody a chance to shine, so screw it. By grabbing Caustic, we can lead that for Geeta. I don't really like dealing with a Spathra, since it will guarantee a special defense drop by 2 stages, so it's pretty annoying to set up on. But if we lead Caustic, we can get rid of this thing in one shot. But keep in mind, I did opt for Crunch, which needed to be taught to Caustic by TM, because this is the only way to one-shot this thing with Skuntank, and he had to be holding up black glasses. Yeah, go ahead and clap, Geeta. You're just hiding behind the fact that you're in danger. With Skuntank KOing the Ostrich, this will force in Avalugg, who has Earthquake, which is super effective against us. This is great as we can pivot into what? Why would you use Avalanche? You have Earthquake! Dude, AI is so weird in this game. Alright, so this thing has Crunch, so it could also use that, but I don't want to sack Valk here. The plan was to Will-O-Wisp and go into Revenant for free since it won't use Earthquake, but now I don't really know what we do. The only thing I could do is pray it uses Avalanche again instead of Crunch, so I can go into Wraith, who I actually didn't take Will-O-Wisp off. And that is exactly what ended up happening. Geeta used Avalanche. Now I just have to hope that I hit a Will-O-Wisp since I don't have the Widelands on Wraith. Bang bang boom, we hit the biggest Willow of Wraith's career. Now that EQ doesn't do anything. From here, I do need to sack someone so that Rev can come in for free, so Caustic, it's your turn. I was trying to make this deathless, but this girl's AI screwed me. Why do you keep using Avalanche on Caustic? Seriously, Geeta? Anyways, once Caustic takes one for the team, RIP buddy, Tauros is in here for free. All we need to do is bulk up twice, but guess what happened, guys? And I kinda thought it would. Avalugg got a critical hit, Earthquake. And Tauros here doesn't have Intimidate. Geeta, I'd stop clapping if I were you. Our attack stat just got completely maxed out thanks to our ability, Anger Point. No further setup is needed. This bull is fucking pissed. Avalugg, dead. King Gambit, dead. Veluza, who I brought Wild Charge for and why I didn't want to take excessive damage, especially with Aqua Jet on this thing. But yeah, we don't even need that. A Raging Bull kills. Huh, how fitting. The name Raging Bull. And this guy is in a complete rage. Go-Goat meets the same fate, and of course, so does Glamora. Geeta might be easy, but I think this was just, like, top of the line embarrassing for her. I think this beats her dying to a Spit Ops, as she literally just sat there clapping at that crit. Geeta, you played yourself. Not gonna lie, I was kind of hoping for the crit because that's just hilarious, and very rarely do I ever get to experience Anger Point in action. And I think I said earlier how I wanted Intimidate on Tauros, and how I also wanted Fighting Terra type on Tauros. Everything happens for a reason, guys. Anyways, on to the post-game fights. First up is the reincarnation of Caustic, and yeah, nothing happened here. He yawned, I put a berry on Revenant, and Raging Bull breaks his reflect, so everything gets outspeed and dies. Even Gyarados thinks to Wild Charge. Okay, I lied. Amoonguss effect spored us with paralysis, and now we're in danger. I did try to hit a Raging Bull against Abomasnow, but we got fully paralyzed and Clavell set up an Aurora Veil. Gosh darn it. Little did I know that Para saved us as his Skeledirge does have Earth Power, and I don't know if we would have outsped. So I go into Wraith on a Blizzard as it's the only thing I can do. I set up 2 Calm Minds as he uses Blizzard plus Woodhammer, and I don't really want to risk a crit, so I go ahead and take out Abomasnow with an Armor Cannon. Now we just have to be able to one-shot Skeledirge with Armor Cannon because I actually don't have a Psychic type move on Wraith. Great. Alright, come on Wraith. What? No! This is just embarrassing. Keep in mind, I have a modest nature and happen to have a Charcoal on Wraith. It was like a 3% chance to not KO. Well anyways, Horizon can clean up with a nice sludgy spit to this Croc's face. Please stop talking to me, sir. Well, I guess this is a good replacement. Mirage it is. Now surprisingly enough, Valk can actually solo Arven, and by solo I mean it can with a little bit of help from Revenant's Will-O-Wisp. Now we just get into her for free since she's prone to use an EQ and we start setting up. Valk here is immune to 2 of Arven's moves and is resisted to a 3rd one, meaning Psychic Fangs is the only thing it can do, allowing this to successfully happen. Sorry bro, an air balloon just blew you away. Blew you because it's a balloon. Screw you guys. I did have to be +6 though, as Garganackle is very tanky, and even Terrasilize, this is just on the money with a Sharp Beak. But I didn't bring a Sharp Beak, so we got the roll we deserved. Mirage is actually the perfect mon for Penny, as he is a special attacker, so he doesn't get affected by Baby Doll Eyes, if she ever even used it. And also, he's resistant to Dark Pulse and immune to Psychic. So after some free nasty plots, everything dies. It's probably trainers like me that made her create Team Star in the first place, and I have no remorse. Now can Nemona, the obsessive battler, the girl we had no choice but to be friends with, can we beat her with our broken ass team? Of course we can. You'd think with her being so over obsessive with battling, they'd give her a stacked team. I have no problem with her Lycanroc, Goodra, or her starter, or even Pomot, but to be honest, Orthworm and Dunsparce just kind of seem there. Like, why did she catch these two Pokemon out of everything? You know what I mean? They just seem out of place. I mean, you guys know what's going on here. Classic burn strats, and oh my god, she maxed our attack with Drill Run. She crit! Wait. I was gonna go into Mirage, but Revenant can totally solo. Did she just mess up that hard like Geeta? The answer is yes. Yes, she did. Nemona. No. Say it ain't so. I tell you guys, I've never had Anger Point activate in a run, let alone 2 times. This is actually a great way to end off the video. Normally I would go fight Professor Sada, but with the stacked team I have, I don't really think we're gonna lose to her, and it literally takes an hour to an hour and a half just to go down to Area 0, and it's really annoying. Also, she's the easier one to deal with out of the two, since you can just burn her Slitherwing as opposed to Tauros' Iron Moth. But yeah, I wish Area 0 didn't take a million years to get through, since I have to do it just for one single fight. Granted, it is a hard fight, but again, this team is super stacked. Anyways, I hope you guys understand, and I still can't believe Nemona gave us the freest win of our career. Look at that. Everyone's just like, what the fuck just happened? Oh no, she's lost it. Thank you guys for watching, and if you did enjoy, give it a like and let me know what you guys want to see from me in terms of videos. I'm open to suggestions. But yeah, I had fun with this one. Bye!